Today I would be analysing my consumer behaviour through the use of SPI. And my first section would be segmentation, and through the use of our survey I found that I am an experiencer and an innovator, and this essentially insinuates that I have a need for pleasurable experiences in life. According to Howell et al., this is because I have unconsciously recognised that my experiential purchases, such as my holidays, increase my happiness levels, unlike materialism, which is detrimental to my well-being. Similar to Stewart's 10 values theory, my purchases are made through the use of my values, which are self-direction, stimulation, and achievement. So as for marketers, they are often cautious when targeting and segmenting me as a consumer. This is to avoid conflict in my values. So for instance, Love Holidays, which is a site I normally purchase my holidays from, have successfully recognized that as a consumer, I have a need for exciting destinations such as Monaco, Greece, Portugal, and France, for instance. And when pitching these ideas to me, I normally receive e-marketing promotions, and these use cool hunting as a concept. For instance, I normally see young people of a similar demographic laughing, drinking, or going on night out, and at the caption of these emails are normally "Mary, are you ready to explore Greece this summer?" or "Mary, experience skiing in France." And what this essentially does, this use of images such as these of travellers of similar demographic acts as an enticer, and this initiates interest through nostalgia. This is because, according to Cassidy and Swidle, consumers identify brands with themselves to connect with social groups, and identify themselves with social groups to connect with brands. So as an experiential consumer, my values are self-directed and highly reliant on my need for escapism. So however, unlike Stewart's understanding on consumer values, I believe my holidays are not universal, as the destinations are highly reliant on the values which I placed on the destinations in question. So for instance, in order to de-stress from my A-levels, I travelled to Lorette de Mar with a group of friends. This area is known for its party lifestyle. However, when travelling to Spain, the same destination, but a different area, I with my partner, the values which I placed on this were extremely different, because during this holiday, all I did most was spend time on the beach, going shopping and relaxing, and going to spas. When booking my holiday, however, through rational and cognitive research, I aim to pick my destinations wisely. So I am highly influenced by and reliant on review websites such as TripAdvisor, which give and recommendations from friends. As identified by Lord and Yeoman, this is because consumers value the trust and opinions and recommendations of others rather than marketed advertisements from companies. In this sense, I identify myself as an active and self-directed consumer. However, this is contrasted due to the fact that I am highly influenced by sales and promotions sent to me via email by loveholidays.com. So when joining loveholidays.com, I filled out a questionnaire, which I think this questionnaire aimed to allow Love Holidays to pick out my values and motivations on traveling. Through this questionnaire, they were able to find out that I am highly reliant on the price. So due to this reason, I often and regularly receive flash sales and discounts. Now, as identified by Yeoman and Lord, consumers have become accustomed to flash sales and time-limited offers and fluid prices which are subject to change. Now, due to this, although I believe that I am a rational and cognitive thinker when purchasing my holidays, in fact, I am massively influenced, as my purchases are often impulsive and hasty, due to the fact that I want that holiday, or it's marketing me to believe that I want that holiday. Now, So, for instance, when going to Nice, this was a New Year's. I wanted to experience a new environment when going on New Year's. So I purchased this within 2 days of traveling to Nice. Now, the use of limited time offers by marketers evokes a sense of urgency to my purchase, subsequently causing me to impulse buy. Interestingly, I purchased various clothing styles in relation to the segmentation. For instance, whilst purchasing clothes for my holidays to Spain, I impulse purchased a lot of crop tops, shorts, tops, and bikinis. Whereas while purchasing holidays for destinations such as Monaco, I impulse bought a lot of heels, cocktail dresses, and accessories. According to Burke et al.'s definition of ethical consumption, I do not classify myself an ethical consumer. This is because I do not consider any human, animal, or sociological factors. So, for instance, as an avid traveller, I fail to consider the negative impact on my travelling on society. So, for instance, the carbon footprint or the O2 emissions. Subsequently, for this reason, I do not see myself as an ethical consumer due to the gap between my awareness of the ethical issues, however, my lack of action to rectify it. As explained by Utisalo and Oxanen, this is because the purchase and consumption of ethical products require a large amount of effort and investment in information acquisition and decision making. This subsequently makes ethical buying very difficult, especially when impulse buying. This is because marketers use flash sales to give consumer no time to go through this process. However, having said this, through the use of SPY methodology, I recognize that I make use of selective ethical consumption. So, for instance, when I found out about the Royal Dutch Shell's incident in Nigeria, glass flaring incident in Nigeria in 2005, I recognized I unconsciously stopped buying my confectionery items or snacks from this station. Now, in this sense, my ethical values were motivated by my personal and cultural values as a Nigerian. My ethical behavior is justified by Burke et al., who states that the personal norms and altruistic values are important in explaining why individuals are motivated by personal obligations over self-interest. In this sense, my identity as an identity and culture influences my ethical behavior. In regards to this selective ethical consumption, when considering clothing, however, I fail to consider any trading issues, unpaid working issues, and human resources and human rights issues. Now, this is because I impulse buy clothes a lot. Unlike my holiday traveling, where I may go through a cognitive process, my clothing is very much impulsive, and so I fail to consider these issues. However, I do. In having said this, I fail to see myself in changing my ethical behavior. This is because, as a consumer, I am very experiential, and I experience rather than consider non-experiential factors. So for this reason, I do not believe my behavior will change. As an avid traveler, my life experiences and my need to explore is reliant on my holiday destinations. Firstly, I made use of Stewart's 10 values theory, and this theory enabled me to understand the different values and motivations which I place on my holidays. It successfully enabled me to distinguish between my behavioral patterns, for instance, my self-direction value, my achievement value, and my stimulation value, which all affect my decision-making process. And however, what I found problematic about this theory is that it failed to recognize me as a fluid consumer, a postmodern consumer, in fact. For instance, due to the choice which I have, I'm able to go on either loveholidays.com, travel guides, travel supermarket, and lastminute.com in order to make travel purchase. And so for this reason, my holiday values may differ. Subsequently, I studied Crystalis on consumer culture theory. Now, this theory, unlike Stewart's 10 values theory, identifies that individuals will adopt different behavioral patterns respective of their lifestyle and consequences, which purchase different types of and will purchase different types of services in order to cater to this lifestyle. So for instance, when I wanted to be carefree, which was the value I had at the time, I went to Lorette de Mar. Whereas when I wanted to be more grown up, for instance, I went to Greece Cassiope. Whereas when I went to experience a different lifestyle, a different class, for instance, I went to France, Monaco. And so subsequently my values are in fact interchangeable, fragmented and inconsistent. Through this, however, what I noticed also was that when due to my achievement values through the use of Stewart's 10 value system, 10 values theory, I found that I go on multiple holidays to cater to these values. According to, however, when I do not go to up to 4 holidays, I feel a sense of unachievement. According to Belk, this is the mourning of and loss of the self. Next, I analysed Bloomer and Casper's understanding of satisfaction and loyalty. According to their theory of loyalty and satisfaction, Bloomer and Casper recognized brand loyalty, and they were able to identify the differences between satisfaction and loyalty, as well as the different types of loyalty. So, for instance, true brand loyalty and spurious loyalty, and latent satisfaction and manifest satisfaction. This theory argues that satisfaction is directly related to the true brand loyalty, because positive evaluation leads to commitment to the brand. However, I found this very problematic to my consumer behavior, because although 90% of my consumption has been through Love Holidays, due to the change in my value, I found that the places where I go to achieve my values have differed. So, for instance, when just before I began my postgrad degree, I went on a holiday by myself to Greece Cassiope in order to feel that value as a grown up, as a postgraduate student. Whereas when I was in my A levels, I went to Spain, Lorette de Mar. Now, while booking my Greece Cassiope, I did not book it from Love Holidays. I booked it through lastminute.com. This was because Love Holidays recognized my need for price. They recognized my need for a cheap holiday in order to go to the destination. However, as my values had changed, I changed my purchase style. So I found this a bit problematic. In addition, I made use of Pierce's travel career ladder, which is, and this theory was very much impactful to my understanding of my purchasing behavior. So this theory understands that, for instance, while traveling to Lorette de Mar, my psychological needs focused on my need for escapism from my A-levels, my need for excitement and curiosity. This is the first time I was traveling out of the country without my family, and need for excitement and stimulation. Whereas my self-esteem, self-directed, my development needs was Sadari, whereas I needed a need for growth and self-development. Was my first time visiting the old orchard in Greece. It was my first time riding a horse. I needed to cater to my need for mastery and control and competency. In essence, the major contributors to my understanding of my consumption behavior when traveling is Pierce's travel ladder theory, as well as Crystalis consumer culture theory, as they recognize that my destinations are diverse. Next section, I shall be recommending some marketing strategies for Love Holidays to increase my customer lifetime value. So, as a postmodern consumer, as my consumer behavior is essentially polygamous and ever changing. So, for this reason, I seek companies and offers which cater to my values. And this will subsequently lead to manifest satisfaction. In order for Love Holidays to increase my buyer moderation and customer lifetime value and avoid disloyalty and avoid dissatisfaction, I recommend that they send me out a new questionnaire every 6 months due to my ever-changing and inconsistent values. This essentially aims to keep up with my frequent changes depending on my purchases. And if my needs are not met, evidently I purchase my holidays elsewhere.